Hey, hi everyone. Very good evening to all of you. So also my name is Amit and I'll be your instructor for today, right, to talk about what's happening all around in business analytics. And before we start off, I would like to just introduce myself. So my name is Amit and I come with more than 10 years of experience of working into BI and data science, having, spent a lot of time working with the data. So, using the tools like Tableau, Power BI, Excel, SQL, Python, SASR. So, the extensive tool list that we have in, available to manipulate and work with data. And I've also delivered various PA solutions for the firms like Sainsbury's, Tesco, Volkswagen, ABB, etc. I welcome you all to this webinar session on business analytics. So over here, right? So when we start talking about business analytics, right? Why do you all think that there is so much of you know the buzz happening around business analytics? Anything you all would like to like, if you all think of it. So today data has become really really important, right? So everyone today is talking about data, and if we see, right, the reason the data popularity has increased, so the main prime reason for that is the data generation is something which has significantly increased, right? So data generation has increased tremendously, right? So what's the reason behind that, right? So why is it that the data generation is increasing? The reason that the data generation is increasing, it is because of digitization, right? So what is happening is today everyone is connected to the internet, right? So because of this internet, what is happening is there is a huge amount of data that we all are generating. So if you will see today, right, like if you have to do a banking transaction, you have to order groceries, you have to order medicines, you have to book a vacation, you have to book a flight, right? I mean, for each and everything, what is happening is, we all are using internet. And in fact, not just these applications, there are our gadgets today, right? The gadgets that we all use today, they are also something which are now connected to the internet, right? If you see your TVs, right? If you talk about your, cars, right? If you talk about the, the home devices that we use, right? Like tube lights, right? Lights, fan, air conditioners, everything today is getting connected to the internet. As a result of which, now what is happening is you can, kind of do every task while just sitting at the home, right? You can turn on the lights, turn off the light, turn on the air conditioner by sitting in one corner of the world, and you can operate the things. And this is how, for every inch of thing that you are doing with the help of internet, there is a data that is getting generated, right? And all this data that we all are generating, this is something which can be used for huge amount of analysis and understand the customers, the products and the services better, right? So data is something which has connected the world end to end, right? Dot to dot worlds is getting connected based on the data that we are generating, right? If I give you a small example, right? If I give you a small example, so I'm not sure if anyone has heard of it or if you all are aware of that. So Amazon is planning to launch something called as smart dustbins. See, smart dustbin is a technology which will, you will be amused to see what's happening around. So what happened is, like, we all know, right, that we all order groceries on Amazon, right? We use the application to order the groceries. Now, when you use that application, so what happens over there is that through that app, so when you order groceries, they know that what items you have ordered for, right? So because for every product there is a, a barcode that is generated, right? So when, if suppose I have ordered something and I have suppose ordered some packet of chips, I have ordered some cold drinks or XYZ items. Now the company knows which barcode has been delivered to Amit, right? Because all the data is captured, right? Because all the barcodes are scanned before delivering the product. Now, when the item is over, right? When I will be done with my chips, when I will be done with my cold drinks, I'm going to throw those wrappers into the dustbin. The moment I throw that wrapper in the dustbin, so what happens is that dustbin has a scanner assigned to it, and it will read the barcodes and it will get to know that the item is over and this item was delivered to Amit. And right away on my application, I will get a pop-up that would you like to add this item into the cart, right? So if you see how Amazon would be able to, With the help of this complete data cycle, they will be able to make the life of customers easy, and they will be able to generate higher sales. So because if a person is able to order the item right away, so the moment the item is complete, they have new orders to sell to the customers as well. So that's where business analytics comes into the picture. So basically with business analytics, what we are trying to achieve over here is we are talking that how we can, you know, generate higher insights, have better customer experience, and generate more revenues and profits because of that. So that's where business analytics becomes an area of prime importance for every business, right? Whether you are in the business of supply chain, you are in the business of retail, you are in the business of finance, insurance, medicines, right? You name the business, travel and all, everywhere today business analytics concepts are getting applied, right? So now, when we talk about this data analytics, so it is more about how do you try to solve the problems, right? So when we are talking about the business problems over here, so we are talking that how we can, give a more efficient and permanent solution to the problems that you face, right? Like for example, a small funny example that if suppose you are being disturbed by the mosquitoes, right? So there are multiple solutions that are available by which you can safeguard yourself, right? You can use some good nights, you can use some sprays, you can use the mosquito net. So there are number of operations, right? But still this problem will still keep pertaining, right? That every day, even if that's like a temporary solution. But with business analytics we try to think of that how you can actually come up with the permanent solutions which can help you to get rid of your problems in an efficient manner. Now, if we talk about analytics, see, analytics is primarily about data plus your aptitude skills, right? So without aptitude skills, we actually are something who we cannot, kind of do a good data analysis, and we cannot survive into the field of data analytics. So in 2010, a study of 179 companies was done, and the organization it was found which were adopting a data-driven decision making, they were able to increase their productivity gains by 5 to 6% higher than those companies who did not adopt data analytics, right? So there was a significant, improvements in terms of, the profit gains was seen by the companies who adopted a proper full-fledged data analytics, right? And it was also like surveyed, and it was figured out that more than when it was surveyed on more than 1000 senior executives conducted by PwC, so the highly data driven organizations are 3 times more likely to report improvements in decision makings compared for those organizations who rely less on the data, right? So there are multiple studies and surveys which actually reflect the importance of business analytics. So how do we define data analytics now? See, data analytics refers to the set of quantitative and qualitative approach for deriving valuable insights from the data, right? With the help of this, you can derive better insights from the data, right? So in this, what you do is the data that you get is something which is in the form of numbers, and it is in the form of some categorical data, right? So you have to understand what all things would you like to measure, and what all things would you like to use as a comparative measures, which is called as qualitative approach. Now this is what the definition of data analytics is, right? So it is a amalgamation, or it's an integration between technology, science, and business context, right? So if you will see, it's not like one area you have to be expert in. You have to understand variety of things, then only you can actually help in data driven decision makings. So if I give you a small example, right? So this is a slide, which I picked it up from 2020, the data statistics, like what happens around, you know, what happens around the internet within 60 seconds. See, within 60 seconds, there is 7 lakh 64 hours of Netflix that is watched by the people across the globe, right? There are 4.1 million search queries that are written by the people, right? If you see, there are almost like, there are like 1.2 million views that happen on Twitch, right? There are 1400 downloads of TikTok that happen within 60 seconds. There are multiple Wikipedia pages that are created within 60 seconds. So there is, just imagine the data that is getting generated within 60 seconds and what would be the size of the data that we would have generated in the whole day, right? So that's what the quantum of data that we all are generating today. Thanks. And that is where the need arises, where we have to understand the proper, the utilization and efficient use case of the data. And now, there is something what we do today is like in organizations, and this happens today as well. There is a hippo algorithm that is used, right? What is hippo algorithm? Hippo algorithm is highest paid person's opinion. So in every organization right now, what happen is the person who is paid the highest, he's the person who is responsible for making the decisions, right? Like that is the CEO. CEO is the guy who is, doing the overall decision making in any of the business, right? So now the hippo algorithm is something which is moving out. Now it is not hippo algorithm, it is more about the data driven decision making, right? Now what data is saying, that is what is considered as, you know, the source of informed decision making. Now, when it comes to decision making with the help of the data, it is not something which is very straightforward process. Like it's not like, you have the data and you start generating the insights out of it. So that's where technology comes into the picture. The first process of business analytics is you have to, kind of first of all, gather the data requirements, right? You have to collect the data from the different sources, right? Like in today's scenario, what is happening is every organization is now generating the data, you know, through variety of sources, right? So maybe, some organizations are generating, like the data with the databases, Excel files, PDF files, web data, social media data. So there is a lot of data that we are generating. So first we have to understand what all sources we have. So you have to collect the data from all those different sources. Now, some data could be structured, some data could be unstructured, some data might be qualitative, quantitative, and with the help of data, we can identify the trend and seasonality. Once you gather the data from the variety of sources, the next part is data cleaning and data formatting. So data that you receive might not be usable format in a usable format right away. So what you have to do in that case is you might have to spend a lot of time in terms of doing a data cleansing. So what you do is you do a data cleaning and data formatting. So formatting is, you might have to do some, the standardization of the data. You might have to remove bad data in the form of, the, blank rows, duplicate rows. You might have to do the standardization, right? If you have data received from different countries. So you might have to bring the currencies to the same scale into dollars or pounds or whatever. Once the data is cleaned and formatting, then you have to do some data enrichment, right? So now we will try to figure out what are the other sources from where the data can be pulled and the data can be brought in a much improvised or it can be enhanced for its use. Then comes the data enrichment. Once we are able to, we have collected and gathered the complete data, that's where what we do is we do some preliminary data analysis. What we do is we start creating some visualizations and making some summaries of the data to understand what insights do we get from there, right? That's what we do as a preliminary, right? Initial stage of data analysis. Once we are able to do the initial level of data analysis, then we move to the other advanced techniques where we do some statistical analysis of the data, right? Where you will try to create some predictive models. You will try to, do some regression techniques, apply some clustering techniques to so that, you are also you are future ready, right? What's going to happen in the future, you are well prepared for that. And for that very thing, we have a lot of mathematical models, visual analytics, and qualitative analysis techniques which are available, which actually help us to do all these kind of analysis, right? And finally, the end result that you get after analyzing the data is something which we present in the form of data visualizations and presentations, which are then used by the stakeholders to do some data-driven decision making. So this is how the complete process gets involved when you have to do a data analysis. So, yep, I hope all are with me on this page. Any questions if you have, all of you, please let me know. All right. So now you know what happens is when we talk about business analytics. Now business analytics is something which is divided into three parts. These are the three main areas, and this is where I would be telling you what are the skills you need to enhance or upskill yourself. The first thing is the first stage of data analytics is descriptive analytics, right? That is descriptive analytics. Now, descriptive analytics is something which comes from the word describe, right? So if I give you some data, so the first level that you will do over there is you will try to understand, you will try to describe what happened in the past, right? What happened in the past. Like for example, if I have the data of some superstore, I have the last 4 years of data of a superstore. I would like to understand how much sale I generated on a year to year basis, how much profit I generated on the year to year basis. I would like to understand which were the top 5 selling products in the last year. I would like to understand how the sales happened across the different category, which category is more sales generating or revenue generating. So that's the analysis that we do in the descriptive analytics. And you know most of the jobs and most of the job requirements, they actually come in this area, descriptive analytics. Okay, so because this descriptive analytics is something which every organization uses. And if I don't talk about organization, if I talk at a personal level, right, as a individual also, we all do a lot of descriptive analytics, right? Like you try to understand ki last month how much money did you spend, how much money you saved, which were those things where you ended up spending more money, which were those things where you ended up spending, you should have spent more money. So for doing descriptive analytics, we actually use visualizations. Descriptive analytics is all about visualization. So here you have to do some data cleaning and you have to convert the data in the form of charts and graphs, right? Out of the all the jobs that come in the market, 80% jobs lie in this area. So for doing a descriptive analytics, you should be well versed with the tools like, the Excel. You should be good with the tools like SQL and some visualizations tools like Tableau or Power BI, right? So if you are good with these tools, Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, you can easily get a job in the descriptive analytics, right? So they are not very coding based tools. These are something which you can learn very easily over here, right? So Excel, SQL, Tableau, and Power BI. Then comes the next part where we talk about diagnosis. See, now if you are able to understand what happened in the past, then you will try to figure out the reasons why it happened. If your sales went low, what was the reason, that why did the sales went low? So that is called as diagnosis, right? Diagnostic analytics. Now for doing the diagnostic analytics, you need to have some business knowledge, right? And then you try to find out from the reason, like if the sales went down, which was the month when the sales was low, right? Which was the products which sales went down. So those are the reasons you try to find from the data, that why a particular thing happened. So that is called as diagnostic analytics. Okay. Then the next part is, once you are able to know what happened in the past, then comes the next level, that is predictive analytics. Now, predictive analytics is more about where you try to predict what happened, now what will happen in the future. You have already identified what happened in the past. Now you will try to identify what will happen in the future, right? So now to do the predictive analytics, you have to be good with statistical tools, or I will say statistics, right? So you should be good with statistics, right? And you have to learn the tools like Python, R, SAS. So these are the tools that you have to learn to be good with predictive analytics. Then only you can predict what's going to happen in the future. So, these tools, Python, R, and SAS, they are more coding based tools, right? So a person, who is doing a descriptive analytics, they are majorly called as data analyst, right? And the people who are doing statistical analysis, they are called as data scientist. These are the people who are now trying to help the company to understand what will happen in the future, right? What is the sales that they will generate in the next month, right? Right. So you can analyze, right? For example, how many new customers you will acquire, right? Like for example, on Netflix, there are a lot of data scientists that Netflix would be having. Netflix would be trying to understand which customer is going to, take their subscription, which customer will, unsubscribe themselves. So they would like to, be ready that what can happen in the future. So that is where this process of predictive analytics comes into the picture. See, then comes the part of prescriptive analytics. Now, prescriptive analytics is now how to make the things better. You already know what happened in the past. You know what's going to happen in the future. So that's where comes prescriptive analytics. Now, this is all about how to optimize the things, how you can make the things better, right? Like for example, Ola or Uber. They would like to, if they already know how many rides they get in a day, right? Now they can predict how many rides they will get next day, right? Now, prescriptive analytics means if they already know how many rides they are going to get, how they can maximize their revenue. If they can predict that a particular customer will definitely take the cab, so they can increase their prices. They know that this customer is going to take the cab, let me increase his prices. If they feel, if they're able to predict this customer is not going to take the cab, they will decrease his prices, because if the price will be decreased, so that customer might take the cab. So that's where prescriptive analytics comes into the picture. Now for prescriptive analytics also, you have to understand some recommend, the recommended, the algorithms that you have. It's all about statistics again, right? So you have to create the models which can help you to understand, how you can optimize the predictions that are coming. Make sense? So as a whole, this is what the life cycle of a complete data analytics is. And every section has its own jobs, right? So when you start your career as a data analyst, you will be starting the things from here. And gradually you come over here, and then you gradually come over here. And as you move from one domain to another, definitely there is a difference in terms of pay packages as well, right? As you go deeper, your pay packages, salaries, everything increase. But you cannot directly learn this thing without having good knowledge of these things, right? So even if you try to learn directly from here, you might be able to learn it, but you will not be that much efficient. But if you start learning in a structured manner, you will always have much more exposure and better understanding about the data, right? So that's how you should actually be starting. If you're a fresher, so you should start with Excel, you should learn SQL, you should learn Tableau, you should learn Power BI, and then you should learn statistics. Then you should learn the tools like Tableau or the Python. Like Python is the most demanded tool of the current, scenario right now. So that's something you should be learning. And then you can go into the more of machine learning algorithms, right? You can go into supervised learning, unsupervised learning, then you can go into deep learning, NLP, natural language processing. So you can go deeper and deeper with that, right? So if you understand the process, that's how you go, right? You first of all understand the requirement, you create the scorecard, you set up some benchmarking, then you do the predictive analytics, and then finally you optimize the business. So that's the complete, the path that a data, kind of travels to make the, maximum profits and revenues. All right. So there are multiple tools for data analytics, right? Like I was talking about, you can learn Excel, Power BI, SAS, R, ClickView, IBM Watson, Tableau. So there are hundred of tools that are available in the market, right? right? So cannot be a champ of all the tools in one go. So you will have to learn very smartly, and all the tools definitely will take few months, right, to have a good grasp. But what will happen is you have to find your calling, right? If you think coding is something you're not able to understand, just learn Excel, Power BI, Tableau. These are the tools which don't need any coding. If you think you're good with coding, you enjoy coding, go with Python, go with R. So that's how you can, streamline your career. Make sense to all of you, everyone? See, I have a data with me. This is the data of a superstore, right? A retail data. Like when you purchase something from Amazon, you purchase something from Flipkart. This is the kind of a data that they generate. Like what is the order ID? On what date did you purchase that order? What was the shipping date? What was the shipping mode? Customer information, customer ID, customer name, segment of the customer, country, city and state, postal code, right? Which product did they purchase? Category and subcategory. Which product did they purchase? What was the sales value? How much quantity was purchased? Discount and profit, right? So now if I ask you all, you have to analyze this data. What all insights do you all think you would like to generate from here? Anything. Just have a look on the data. What insights come to your mind? Or what analysis can you show on this? I can try to show how much sales happen in the different categories and subcategories. I will try to find out top selling products. I would like to analyze right how the sales were changing over a period of time. Was there any trend or was there any seasonality in the data? So those are the kind of different analysis that I can do from here, right? So let's try to achieve them. See, I'm going to use the tool Tableau. You will see how fluent and intuitive this tool is and how easy and quick to use this tool is. So it's all drag and drop, no coding required, nothing. So the first thing is you have to choose what is the source of data. The source of data is Excel. So I will drag orders over here. See, the data is loaded over here. See, the idea is not to make you all learn the tool. The idea is to show you how the analyses are done and how you perceive the information from there. See, for example, if I come over here, I can see all the fields that I have in the data. I have some geographical data with me. I would like to analyze how much sales happened across the different countries, states and cities. So if I pick country and drop it over here, see, I will get a map coming up. See, I have the data of one country. I can see US. If I drag state also, I can see all the states, right? I can see all the states. Now I would like to understand how much sales happened across the different states. So if I pick the sales and put on the size, you can see the size of the bubbles has changed. Bigger the bubble, higher the sales, smaller the bubble, lower the sales. Now you see the importance of visualization. By just creating this one chart, I'm able to analyze California had high sales, New York had high sales, Montana had low sales, North Dakota had low sales. So I can see those regions where the sale was low. I can identify high sales generating locations and low sales generating locations. So what I've done is I have done a geographical analysis. Now what I can do is let's add a new chart. I would like to see how much sales happened across the different subcategories. I pick the subcategories. I pick up the sales. And here I can see, I can sort the data so I can see how much sales happened across the different subcategories. Right, so I can see phone is something which is giving me the highest sales. Then chairs, storage, cabinet, and I can see from here that envelopes and these items are giving low sales. Can you think of a reason why these sales are low? That why the sale value of label, fasteners, envelopes is low? See, sales is basically the amount at which I am selling the item, right? See, the sales price of envelope is low. See, envelope comes for 5 rupees, 10 rupees, but phone will come for 10,000 rupees. So if I sell one phone and I sell 1000 envelopes, then only I will be able to match up the sales. That will be the sales will be 10,000 and 10,000. So high sale doesn't mean that that is the top selling product, right? It can happen because the sale value of phone is high. That's why its sale is coming as high. But that's not a clear indication that I am selling the phones as the highest. So if I bring the quantity on the color, you can see quantity wise binder is something which I have sold the highest. See, color means darker the color, higher the value, lighter the color, lower the value. So now I can identify this is the item which I've sold in the highest amount, right? Phone is also a good amount, but this is the highest. Although its sale was less, probably because the pricing is less. But quantity wise, this is something which I've sold in a very, very high amount, right? So this is where I'm able to do a subcategory analysis. Right? If I had a new sheet, similarly, I can do a category wise analysis. Which category is giving me the highest sales? If I bring category in the columns and I bring sales in the rows, and let's make a pie chart over here. See, now I can see which category is giving me more sales. So all the categories have given me almost similar sales. There is not a very big difference in terms of sales that I'm getting from different categories. So I'm doing good business with all the categories. Getting it, all of you? These analyses that I've done. Yep. Similarly, right, like Kodhala, like the point that you have mentioned, that top selling products. So I will show you top selling products also. But before that, I will do an analysis where I would like to showcase. I bring the order date in the columns and I bring the sales. So I would like to do a time series analysis. I would like to understand on a yearly basis how the sales have happened. So if I make this chart, I can clearly see the sales increased after 2015. Up till 2014 and 15, the sales were low. But then 15, after 15, the sales have increased tremendously, right? I can also change this chart to the month level. See, month on month analysis I can see. Do you guys notice any pattern in this chart? Any pattern that you notice in this chart? So you will notice the same pattern is repeating every year, right? You see sales every year are going high and down. This is called as seasonality, right? Every business has some seasonality, right? There are some months when the sales increase, there are certain months when the sales decrease, right? Like for example, sale of cold drinks. Now the sale of cold drinks will be high in summers, low in winters. So with that, now what happens over here is that we are able to basically figure out that okay, which months the sale will be low. So you will keep the amount according to will keep the stock according to that. If you know in a certain month the sale will be high, you will keep higher stock, right? So you can plan your data, the stock according to that seasonality pattern, right? So this is how you are able to see some time series analysis. So I can understand which months the sale will increase, which month the sale will decrease, and over a period, has my sale increased or decreased? See, as a trend, I can see the sales have increased, and I am able to identify the seasonal patterns as well, right? Now, for example, I want to see top 5 selling products. I want to see top 5 selling products. Now, how I can show top 5 selling products are, see, for example, I pick up the field of product name. You see, this tool is completely drag and drop. So anyone to everyone can learn this. No technical knowledge required for this. I'm just dragging the things here and there. I bring the sales. See, I can see the sales of all the products right now. I will sort this chart. Now, if I want to, right now I'm seeing all the products. But what I can do, I can apply some filters if I want. I will say I want to filter the data and I only want to show top, you know, top 5 selling products. See, the chart will show you only top 5 Oops, sorry. Top 5 selling products over here. See, top 5 selling products. I can show it in the form of a bubble chart also. Bigger the bubble, higher the sales. Smaller the bubble, lower the sales. So if you see how quickly I'm able to do the analysis, right? I'm just within few minutes, I'm able to analyze the big chunk of data over here, right? I can analyze more data. Like for example, I would like to understand relationship between sales and profit. I want to understand if my sales increase, do my profit increase? So let's try to see that. If I bring the sales in the columns, I bring the profit in the rows, right? So I do this is total sale and total profit. I can bring customer ID in the detail where I can understand how the two things are connected. So I can see as the sales are increasing, my profit has also increased. So I am seeing the sales and profit for each customer right now, right? So I can see the sales and profit for each customer right now. I can clearly see that there are a lot of customers who have given me some losses also, which I can see over here. But as the overall trend I see, the data is connected to each other. As the sales have increased, the profits have increased. So this is sales versus profit. Now, once you do these analysis, right now what is happening is all these analyses are in different view. So I will make a complete report out of it, right? So I will make a full-fledged report where I can see all the reports together, which we call it as a dashboard, right? A dashboard. So I have all these charts with me. I just have to bring all the charts together. So I bring the first chart. This is the map, right? I bring the second chart where I can see category wise analysis, subcategory wise analysis. Here I can see categories, right? I can bring the time series analysis, right? I can bring this chart over here and I can bring scatter plot over here. So now if you see, I have brought all the charts together in one single view. So if I will share this report with my manager or my stakeholder, we will be able to understand all the things within few seconds. I can enhance the report look and feel also because when I'm sharing this report with my manager, so he would like that the report should come neat and clean, right? Aesthetically nice as well. So you have a lot of options over here in this tool where you can enhance the, you know, the look and feel as well. So if I come over here and I say show dashboard title, so I can put, you know, superstore. This is, see, right? So I'm making a nice report over here, right? If I want, I can do some formatting on this, format the dashboard. We can apply some background colors, right? Dashboard, I can give a shading to it. Right, so I have this over here. Right? So this is certain ways by which I can enhance the look and feel of this report. And what will happen is if I come format dashboard, font titles, right? See, see right now, this is how my report has been enhanced. And if I show it in a single view, see this is single screen view. This is how the report is going to look like to the end user, right? This is how the report will look like to the end user when I share this report with him, right? So there are a lot more charts, that we can definitely add to it to basically make it more, you know, detailed. But if you see at a high level, these are the important insights that I've added in this, and my dashboard has been prepared. And the benefit of this now, the things is what is happening is the things are getting connected. So I can save this file. So if I save this file, see, I'll share this link with you guys. So I save this file. If I share this link with you guys, you all will be able to see my report as well. So if you all will click on this link, it will take you to this page and you all will be able to see my report. Just try to click on that. See, if I update anything at my end, so I will update this report. So what will happen is you will also see the updated report every time you open it up. Right? You can add some interactions also. If you select the chart, I can say use as filter. See, if I click on California, see all the data shows me the data for California. If I click on New York, all the charts show me the data of New York. So I can add a lot of interactions to make my report and analysis much more, user friendly in the future. Thanks all. Thanks for your time.